I'm Jessica. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, thanks. And what's your name?
My name is Laura.
Okay, where are you from, Laura?
I'm from Petaluma, California.
Okay, well, I'm blogging together with my classmates. It's a blog about gender inequality. So, can I ask you a few little questions about this?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about this topic? What is your point of view or your opinion?
On gender inequality?
Yes.
I think it's definitely a hot topic issue, like around the world. Globally, it did start off. I think the movement started off in the United States because of the gender equality gap is so great. But ever since I actually learned since the 1980s, they've been trying to pass the Equal Pay Act, and that still hasn't happened. It's 2020, so I think it's definitely a hot topic issue. And anything else?
Okay. Have you experienced any act of inequality?
I think it's something that is so hidden, like it's such a big part of our culture that you experience it constantly without even knowing. Like just even being told to smile more is like a big form of like showing like gender discrimination and gender inequality. So like just small acts every single day I think I've experienced, if that makes sense.
Okay. And do you know the feminist movement? What do you think about the demonstrations?
Yes, I'm actually really familiar with the feminist movement. I study women's studies in college, if that makes sense. And like the feminist movement comes in waves. So there was the first wave for suffrage in like 1919. That's here in the United States. And then it came back after suffrage. But the movement has really had like one specific goal that it kind of wants in the moment, and once it like succeeds in getting that goal, it kind of dies down, so it comes back in movements, if that makes sense. So the first one was suffrage and voting, and then it was abortion and just like productive rights and things like that. Sorry, they're doing work in the living room. And then there's another movement currently going on right now that is stronger, and I can go on and on, but right now it's a lot about intersectional feminism.
Okay, do you consider feminists to be an effective method to combat inequality?
I think it depends on how you define feminism. I think if you have a feminist personality, then definitely you should thrive and show that, because that is who you are. If you aren't necessarily feminine, then obviously that it's not you. I think and that's where intersectional feminism comes in, because every single person has a different background and like different attributes. So I think the word feminism is like a lot more flexible, if that makes sense. It's not necessarily quote unquote girly.
And how do you think this can be solved or combated?
I think the biggest thing is education and awareness. That is always where it's like socialism and how you were raised, and that's where it always starts off. So I think combating it early and educating and implementing it in our education systems in schools, I think that is the biggest way you can combat something.
Okay, Laura, we finished. Thank you so much and have a nice day.
Thank you. You too.
Hi, I'm Jessica. How are you?
Hi, good. Thank you. How are you?
Good, thanks. What's your name?
I'm Denise Sandoval.
Okay, where are you from?
I'm originally from Mexico, from Jalisco, but I currently live in the U.S., in California.
Okay, I'm blogging together with my classmates. It's a blog about gender inequality. So can I ask you a few little questions about this?
Yes, of course.
Okay, what do you think about this topic? What is your point of view or your opinion?
About gender equality, right?
Yes.
So I believe that we have advanced, and at this point that we're at in humanity, I feel like there is more equality. However, there are still differences, and people still fail to respect that gender does not define you or your capabilities. And I do believe that there's still way more to advance within this subject.
Okay, have you experienced any act of inequality?
Oh yeah, of course, especially in my work area and at school. Yeah.
Okay. And do you know the feminist movement?
I do. I have heard about it. I see it on social media, but I haven't really indulged into it.
And what do you think about the demonstration?
I believe the feminism is a great thing, because us as women, we should empower each other and let the world know that we're somebody. However, I do believe that in a lot of the manifestations that the feminists do, they're asking for respect. However, in many of these, they go ahead of themselves and they disrespect themselves in the aspect that they start vandalizing, they start using profanity, and I don't believe that's the right representation of feminism.
And do you consider feminism to be an effective method to combat inequality?
An effective method of combating equality. Feminism is definitely an effective method because as a feminist, I could say that we are standing up for our rights, for our capabilities, for our strength, that in many cases, a lot of females too, but mostly males, fail to realize that we are equal and we have the same capabilities. We have everything that it takes to do the same tasks that the opposite gender can do. And so I do believe that feminism is a great way to represent that.
Okay, and how do you think this can be solved?
Well, honestly, I don't think that we can change a lot of people's minds because in a lot of countries, for example, Mexico, there's a lot of machismo where that has been happening since I don't know how long, but it's become a tradition basically. And even though we can do something about it, we can change some people's minds, we're never going to be able to change everybody's minds. And some people are still going to think that females and males are not equal.
Okay, Denise, that's it. And thank you so much for your time. Have a nice day.
Of course, you too.
Hi, I'm Jessica. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
What's your name?
My name is Alejandro and I'm 17 years old.
Where are you from, Alejandro?
I'm from Nayarit.
Okay, so I'm blogging together with my classmates. It's a blog about gender inequality. So can I ask you a few little questions about this?
Of course.
The first one is, what do you think about this topic? What is your point of view or your opinion?
Well, I think that gender inequality is a present problem, and I also consider important to eradicate this problem to help us as a society to reduce the great social gaps. And I think that it's very important to guarantee equal opportunities between men and women.
So have you experienced any act of inequality like men?
Not directly, but for example, a member of my family once told me that a coworker who was fired because his boss thought that his position could be developed by another person, and he didn't give him a strong reason why he was firing him.
Okay.
I think that it's...
So do you know the feminist movement?
Yes, I am familiar familiar with this movement, and I also consider that this their demonstrations have begun to create an extreme and real social movement.
Great. So, do you consider feminists to be an effective method to combat inequality?
Yes, I personally consider that they have achieved many objectives since they are acting in different ways. For example, talking about the national strike on March 9th, I think that they began and start a great impact to detonate gender conscious in the Mexican society.
And how do you think this can be solved?
I really think and I strongly believe that education is the key to solve this problem because to reduce this problem, we have to start speaking and include gender equality in the education for schools, and this will help us to create or start having integral people who can know the measures and how to fight against gender inequality.
Okay, thank you, Alex. That's it. And thank you for your time. So have a nice day.
You too.
Hi, I'm Jessica. How are you?
Hi, I'm Blue. Well, my name is Azul, and I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, Blue, where are you?
I'm from Mexico, Guadalajara.
Okay, well, I'm blogging together with my classmates. It's a blog about gender inequality. So can I ask you a few little questions about this?
Yeah, of course.
Well, what do you think about this topic? What is your point of view or your opinion?
Well, for me, this topic it's kind of sad and weird because I cannot understand how someone will think that it's better than anyone because of their gender, you know? Like for me, it's kind of weird that a boy thinks that it's better than a girl only because he's a boy. Like we are all the same, and that should not be like a reason to feel better than anyone.
Yeah, okay, Blue. So have you experienced any act of inequality?
Yeah, well, I think that in Mexico, like a lot of girls have lived that because we're so used that, I don't know, only because you're a girl, you have to clean the house and you have to wash the dishes or you have to serve your dad meals or something like that. And while your brother is not doing anything and you're doing it only because you're a girl, and that's what girls should do. And for me, that's like an act of inequality. And yeah, I have lived that a lot of times.
Okay, so do you know the feminist movement?
Yeah, I know. The feminist movement.
And what do you think about the demonstrations?
Well, I think that demonstrations are the only way that the government will hear the movement. And I think that if the government doesn't hear like the girls, because they are trying to reach something, like they are trying to reach like equal rights for everyone, or like we don't feel safe, you know, and that's why they are trying to speak and to be heard. And I think that if government doesn't do anything, at least people will listen to them and will say like, well, we're doing something wrong. Girls are not feeling like comfortable here. So I think that they are really good if you want to reach a goal.
So do you consider feminists to be an effective method to combat inequality?
Yeah, I think that it's a really good method, but if you use it in a good way, because feminists is looking for equality in girls and boys, and if you use it, I don't know, to feel like you are better only because you're a girl, I think that it's bad. You have to use it like for the same, because we are all the same, girls and boys.
And the last one is, how do you think this can be solved?
Well, I think that the only way that we can solve this, it's like understanding that we are all the same, and not because you're a guy or you're a girl you have more rights or more opportunities. I think that's the only way that we should do that, because we're all the same, and not because you are a guy or a girl you deserve more. I think that is like a kind of stupid to think. And I think if we all realize that we are all humans, we are all the same, we deserve the same things, that is the only way that we can solve this.
Okay, Blue, thank you so much for your time and have a nice day.
No, thank you.